Hello and welcome to the Walking Talking topic on averages question number 6 with me, Mr. Barton. Now, question number 6 is a little bit like question number 5 in the sense that they ease you in with something fairly standard and then twist it up a little bit in part B. So let's get the standard stuff right first. The depth of a lens in a pair of glasses is measured as shown below. The number of people wearing glasses was surveyed. God knows why they're doing this survey, but anyway, the depth of the lens in their glasses was measured and recorded to the nearest millimetre. Results are shown in the table. There's those magic words again. Calculate an estimate for the mean depth. So we know what we need to do here. We don't have specific data values. We've only got midpoint. So the best thing we're going to be able to do is get ourselves a midpoint as our best estimate. So the best estimate for these people between 10 and 19 depth is to go halfway there. So I'm going to do 10 plus 19 and I'm going to get my answer and halve it. That's 29 halved, and that's going to give me, I reckon if my maths is right, flipping out 14.5. Now this is probably going to be on a calculator paper. If it's calculating estimate, that means so you're alright just to bang these into your calculator. So the next one is going to be 24.5, 34.5 and 44.5. Then I am going to need my best estimates of the total. So it's going to be midpoint times by my frequency. My frequency is just going to be my number of people. So let's reach for the trusty calculator. I'm going to do a 14.5 and I'm going to times it by my 6 and I'm going to get 87. That's going to be my best estimate for the total depth of lens of those 6 people. Then I'm going to get 24.5 and times it by my 28, which is going to give me 686. I'm going to get 48 and I'm going to times it by 34.5 and that's going to give me 1,656. And then I'm going to get 18 and I'm going to times it by 44.5 and that's going to get me 801. And I'm going to need a total for these to get my total lens depth. So let's add them up. 87 plus 686 plus 1656 plus 801. That's going to get me a total of 3,230. But I never trust that. Instead, I'm going to add them up quickly again from the bottom. 801 plus 1656 plus 686 plus 87. Cross my fingers, hope I get the same. I do. That's good news. Now, remember my tip at this stage. What do you expect the answer to be? That's going to give you a better chance of getting it correct. So, I expect the answer to be between 10 and 49. If it isn't, I'm going to start panicking. So, I'm going to get my 3,230 and I'm going to divide it by my total number of people. Not by 4, because there's 4 rows. I need a grand total for that. So let's get it. I've got 6 plus 28 plus 48 plus 18. That's going to give me a grand total of 100 people. It tends to be a nice number. So let's do 3,230 divided by 100. You don't need a calculator for that. That's going to be 32.30 millimeters. Does that look about right? Well, it's between 10 and 49, so that's good enough for me. I'll take 4 marks for that. But then, here comes part B. There it is there. So, complete the following cumulative frequency table. Okay, not too bad. Now, this is a slightly strange way they've got it written out here. Often you tend to find cumulative frequency tables looking a little bit more like the previous table with your upper boundaries. But that's okay that it looks like this. We can deal with that. They're just the upper boundaries of each group, but we still fill them in exactly the same as before. So we've got 0, 6 and 34. That's come from these tables. There's no one below 10. There are 6 people below 19.5. There are 20 and further 28 people, which gets added onto that 6 there. And then we get another 48 joining the gang. So here I'm going to get my 34 and I'm going to add on the new lot of 48 that are coming in. So that's 34 plus my 48. That's going to give me 82. And then finally, to get my last bit, I'm going to get another 18 people involved. So I'm going to need to add on 18 to that. And this is really good news because it equals 100, and it always should do because that's my total amount of people. So now I've got to plot those on. So I've got to be very accurate with my plotting, and I'm a bit ropey at this sometimes. So these are my upper boundaries, and this is my cumulative frequency. So there is nobody less than 9.5. Now let's just have a look at our scale. We've got 5, 10 squares, so each square is 1. So my 9.5 is just going to be halfway there. We've got a cumulative frequency of 6 for 19.5. Now, what's going on with the scale on the y-axis? Well, I've got 5 squares going up to 10, so each one's each one's 2. So if I want 6, I'm going to have to count up 3 squares, and I reckon it's round about there. 29.5 is just short of the 30, and I'm up to 34. So I find my 30, and I'm going to go up 2 squares for 34. 39.5 is right up there at 82, so it's going to be round about there. And finally, 49.5 is right up the top at 100. And if I join them up, I get a smooth curve that looks like that for a nice 2 marks there for that. Now, use your graph to estimate the median depth of a lens. So for the median depth, I need to go across half the total cumulative frequency. So if I've got 100, I need to go across at half of 100, which is the 50th value. And I'm going to show the examiner with my ruler exactly how I'm doing this. So there's my 50. I'm going to dot myself across here until I hit the graph, and then once I hit the graph, I'm going to travel down. I'm going to keep it as accurate as I possibly can be, and for a laugh, I'm even going to put an M for median there. And I reckon, if my reading's right, that that's about 36 millimeters. Now, you might be a little bit more, a little bit less. That's absolutely fine. As long as you've shown how you've done it and you're accurate from your diagram, you're going to get the marks. Interquartile range. So I'm going to need a lower quartile, I'm going to need an upper quartile. My lower quartile is going to be going a quarter of the way up, which is going to be my 25th value, and my upper quartile is going to be going 3/4 of the way up. So it's going to be 3 lots of 100 divided by 4, which is my 75th value. So let's get my lower quartile first. So I'm going across at 25, so I need to go up 2.5 squares there, dot myself across, and then dot myself down. That's my lower quartile. I'm going to label it, and I reckon that is 27. So it's going to be take away 27, and my upper quartile is going to be at 75. So again, as accurate as I possibly can be. Dot myself across. You can do a solid line if you want, treat yourself to that. I'm going to label that as upper quartile, dot that down, and that is going to be just short of my 40. I think that's going to be around about 39. And I just need to remember that my interquartile range is equal to 39, sorry, the upper quartile take the lower quartile, which in this case is 39 take 27, which, if my maths is right, is equal to 12 millimeters for a handy 3 marks.